How are you down there, James?
Oh, I'm calling you from the hospital.
What?
April Fools.
That's a good one.
No,
except we've been there and done that, so don't scare me like that.
That was a terrible one.
God.
Just kind of got death on my mind, though. Our great old chocolate Labrador Retriever had to be put down. He got to where he just couldn't move, and
when was this?
Finally had to haul him. Just yesterday, and hauled him to the vet. And it turns out he had an enlarged heart. Vet said it was about. They took X-rays. Said it was about the size of a basketball, and so there wasn't anything much that could be done. But he was such a good pup.
That's one of those rare occurrences when you have too big of a heart and it can really penalize you.
Well, and he did have a big heart, you know.
I'm sure he did.
We got him when he was a puppy, and he had these great big paws, you know. So I knew he was going to grow up, be big.
Yeah.
And he was chocolate brown, and I don't know, for some reason I got in mind the Afrika Korps and the desert dog, right? So so we named him Rommel. Okay,
I should hope so.
After the desert fox, because I figure he's going to be a big bruiser of a dog, you know.
Yeah.
He was a couch potato, and just the friendliest, easygoing old dog you've ever had.
It's not fair that dogs don't get to live as long as we do. I've always felt that. I think they deserve it.
That's true. Hey, I've been wanting to ask you. I'm sure.
You want to ask me a question?
I want to ask you a question. I'm sure that you saw earlier this month I don't know, you probably don't watch Jimmy Kimmel, I don't either, but he had President Obama on there. And
I heard about it.
And they got to talking about Area 51 and UFO files.
Yeah.
And Obama, you know, with his little phony smile said, well, the aliens won't let it happen, you know. You'd reveal all their secrets. They exercise strict control over us, he says, you know, with this cat-eating grin. And then Kimmel tries to, you know, lighten up the whole thing even more and say, well, you know, President Clinton said he checked on that and found there was nothing there.
No, President Clinton didn't find anything out. He sent Webb Hubble over to find out, and they said, go home, Webb.
He couldn't get to the information.
That's right.
Okay, but Kimmel said, well, Clinton tried to get to that, and he said there was nothing there, and Obama says, that's what we're instructed to say. And I don't know, is it just me, or is, you know, the easiest way to lie and the easiest way to cover up something is to tell the truth.
Is to tell the truth or make fun of it.
Yeah. With a grin, you know.
That's right, of course. And that guy's the master of the grin.
Yeah.
The smirk.
Now, the thing is, let's keep in mind, let's just, you know, if that was just one comedian at a late night show and the president and who's joking around, you know, then okay, I'd be perfectly willing and able to write that off as just. You
was
know,
that subject, Jim, the build subject that they were supposed to talk about that night? That was the building.
No. They started off talking about. No, I didn't watch the whole thing, but as I understand it, they started off making jokes about Hillary Clinton's email account or something. And
tough
Kimmel said, can you give me your new email address? And he said, no, she wouldn't want that or something. But but when you talk about, when he starts saying, he gets that little sly grin, and it's not like Obama wouldn't lie about something, right? I mean, he's been caught, umpteen times, misstating things.
Too many.
And then you have to, you figure out, if you'll remember, John Podesta was briefed by Dr. Stephen Greer.
Right. Yeah, Greer's been at it a long time.
Yeah, and Podesta, who was a senior advisor to Obama on energy policy, said he tried to find out about UFO propulsion systems and said he couldn't get there. And a lot of people saw this as evidence that there are powerful government corporate forces enforcing USO secrecy. Okay.
Well, we know that.
And of course, the thing is, you also might remember the Russian Prime Minister Medvedev in 2012.
Yeah.
That the U.S. Russian presidents are secretly briefed on extraterrestrials living amongst us.
Of course.
And that they have a special secret agency set up to monitor alien activities. And then of course, I might remind your audience that Paul Hellyer, a former defense minister for Canada,
Secretary of Defense,
has said that there are extraterrestrials that secretly live on U.S. military facilities at Nellis and probably other places.
Yeah.
And then of course, let's not forget Dr. Edgar Mitchell, the 16th, the sixth man to walk on the moon.
Yep.
And he has stated publicly that we have alien technology that we've been using that was gleaned from UFO propulsion systems.
Yeah, I'm glad Ed's coming forward and telling the truth.
My point here is that you've got these credible people that are in positions of knowledge who are saying, yeah, they're here, and they're controlling things. You know?
Of course they're here.
Yeah, I don't know if you've interviewed Karen Hughes, who for many years was with the World Bank, and she says at the top of the power structure are extraterrestrial, non-human.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me. It'd be above the eyeball on the dollar bill, but there's something up there.
Yeah, exactly. So
what's going on
I'm not
here?
trying to get overly serious here, and I'm certainly not pulling an April Fool joke. But when it's like the old joke, when everybody tells you don't look well, maybe I'll lie down. And when people who know have every reason to know what they're talking about, up to and including the United States, even if he is with a smirk on his face. Yeah. When they say, aliens are here, aliens are in control, yes, we have alien technology, I think it's time that people quit snickering about the subject.
Yeah, here's Kimmel.
So this is something I feel like, if I was the president, and it's unlikely that is ever going to happen.
You never know.
If I was the president...
It was unlikely that I was going to be president.
The moment...
Now, see, I got to stop it there. It was unlikely I was going to... He knew damn well 16 years ago he was going to be president.
Yeah,
anyway.
Exactly. The Russians knew it.
Of course.
I was inaugurated. My hand it'd still be hot from touching the Bible, and I would immediately race to wherever they have the files about Area 51 and UFOs, and I go through everything to find out what happened.
Right.
Did you do that?
That's why you will not be president.
That's probably a very truthful statement.
That's a very truthful statement, and the guy has gotten to be much quicker on his toes over the years. That was a good line. I hate to give it to him, but...
Well, in fact, that's another point before you go on, is that it's well known that Barack Obama has difficulty coming up with remarks on his own. He's always needed that teleprompter.
Yeah.
And since this is a nationwide program, I just can't bring myself to believe that he's actually sitting there quipping off the top of his head.
If he
I think this was carefully scripted ahead of time.
He's able to pull it off better than he used to be able to.
Yeah.
But I think they don't want to take any chances at that level. So that's what I've always said too, and I agree with you.
And I think some very smart people crafted these answers so that it would be like a joking thing, but they knew there was a lot of public interest in this topic.
Yep.
And so they crafted this so that he could actually, well, like I said, the easiest way to tell a lie is to tell the truth.
Well, we got to go back to Webb Hubbell and Billy Clinton. And he sent Webb Hubbell over to the Pentagon or wherever to find out.
To the Justice Department. He named him an Associate Attorney General of the United States.
Gave him some standing and sent him over there.
He said, Webb, I'm sending you over there. I want you to find out two things for me. I want to find out who killed Kennedy, and I want to find out what's the truth about UFOs. And Hubbell, in his book, his memoirs, said he was troubled because he could not get to the information.
Well, he certainly didn't ask him who was the real father of Chelsea. They kind of knew that. In case you folks don't know, it was Webb Hubbell. Look at pictures of Webb Hubbell and Chelsea Clinton before she had her facial surgery, and you'll see this amazing likeness. All right, here
Are you going to finish the interview?
I'm going to go
back. It's interesting what he says.
Yeah, I'll go back. Here we go.
that's the first thing that you would do.
It's at the
The
top of
aliens
my
won't
list.
let it happen. You reveal all their secrets. They exercise strict control over us.
Now, you know, there are a lot of people that are going to examine your facial expressions here.
Now, that's a very astute thing for Kimmel to say. And I think
he realizes that he's being fed,
he was set up.
predetermined lines.
Yep, I think he realizes he was being set up. I'm going to back this up just a little bit because of all the late night hosts now, since Craig Ferguson is gone, Kimmel is the best.
The closest.
Yeah, the closest to being the best. Okay. Craig Ferguson, seriously though, in a class by himself, wherever that is, he'll be back.
And I'm sure that Kimmel was watching himself closely because you're not going to have the President of the United States on any program where somebody might ask him a hardball question.
No chance. No, all right, here we go. Let's see if we can get this to re-cue, and I'll let it back up a little bit.
Yeah, go back there, because he said, that's another thing. All he had to, when he makes his little jokes, and he said, no, they won't let us do that or something.
Those little,
then he has to add that they're in total control.
They exercise total control. See, those are the things that you listen to. And then Kimmel caught that, and he pointed that out. And I thought that was very adept on his part.
Race to wherever they have the files about Area 51 and the UFOs, and I go through everything to find out what happened.
Right.
Did you do that?
That's why you will not be president. Because that's the first thing that you would do.
It's at the
The
top
aliens
of my
won't
list.
let it happen. You reveal all their secrets. They exercise strict control over us.
Now, you know, there are a lot of people that are going to examine your facial expressions here, every twitch, everything, and say, and of course, so did you look? Did you see? Did you explore?
I can't reveal anything.
Oh, really? Because President Clinton said he did go right in, and he did check, and there was nothing.
Well, that's what we're instructed to say.
All right.
Inexplicably straight talk from the president.
There you go.
But with a ha, so they're counting on nobody believing it because of 50 or 70 years of the snicker factor on the mass media every time they even mention the subject.
When he said they're in strict control, I didn't see any real effort to be funny about it. He was saying,
No.
I think he was saying something.
That's what I say. He went a little too far when he says they won't let us say that. Okay, that
smile.
Laughed.
That
but
smile.
Then he had to add they're in strict control.
The smile after he said that was not the goofy smile he was using before. It was a little different.
Yeah.
Here, we'll play it again.
Everything and say, and of course, so did you look? Did you see? Did you explore?
I can't reveal anything.
Oh, really? Because President Clinton said he did go right in, and he did check, and there was nothing.
Well, that's what we're instructed to say.
Okay, let me add something again. If this was all done in a vacuum, if this was just Obama and just Jimmy Kimmel in that one time on a late night comedy talk show, I'd be saying, okay, they're just bantering, blah, blah. But let me tell you, I interviewed a guy named Bill Holden. I remember his name because it was not the old Hollywood actor Bill Holden. It was another Bill Holden.
Yeah.
He was a load master for Air Force One, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And in the summer of 1963, he flew part of the crew that flew John F. Kennedy, to Europe, where he traveled over there, and he made his famous Ich bin ein Berliner speech, okay? Yeah. And while they were over there, Holden tells me that the European media had a little UFO flap going on. Somebody had seen something, and they were carrying it in the newspapers. And he said that Kennedy was actually, among all the presidents, all these hotshots, was actually a very approachable guy, And that's been recorded in many other places, too. Mm-hmm. So he said they're on Air Force One. And so he just kind of went up to Kennedy and said, Mr. President, he says, what do you think about this UFO issue? And that's what he asked. He said, what do you think about this UFO thing? And he said, Kennedy said, quote, I would like to tell the public about the alien situation, but my hands are tied. Now,
that's a hell of a quote. I have not heard that. That's fascinating, and that tells me all I need to know. I think
you'll find that in my book, Alien Agenda, which came out in the 90s, but nobody reads anymore.
My memory train isn't that long. Isn't that
a great quote?
That's a classic quote.
And particularly when nobody said anything about aliens, they simply asked him about UFOs. And he said...
he just told us the answer. And I'm telling you, when I look at Obama here for the third time, and he said, they don't allow us to, whatever he said, they don't allow us to talk about that.
I'm not allowed to say that or something like that.
He was not joking.
He finally got to where he just couldn't move. And
when was this?
I finally had to haul him, just yesterday, and hauled him to the vet. And it turns out he had an enlarged heart. Vet said it was they took x-rays, said it was about the size of a basketball. And so there wasn't anything much that could be done. But he was such a good pup.
That's one of those rare occurrences when you have too big of a heart and it can really penalize you.
Well, and he did have a big heart,
I'm sure he did.
We got him when he was a puppy, and he had these great big paws, so I knew he was going to grow up and be big.
Yeah.
And he was chocolate brown, and I don't know, for some reason I got in mind the Afrika Korps and the desert dog, right? So so we named him Rommel. Okay.
I should hope so.
After the desert fox, because I figure he's going to be a big bruiser of a dog.
Yeah.
He was a.
How are you down there, James?
Oh, I'm calling you from the hospital.
What?
April Fools.
That's a good one.
No,
except we've been there and done that, so don't scare me like that.
That was a terrible one.
God.
Just kind of got death on my mind, though. Our great old chocolate Labrador Retriever had to be put down. Ouch, potato. And just the friendliest, easygoing old dog you've ever had.
It's not fair that dogs don't get to live as long as we do. I've always felt that. I think they deserve it.
That's true.
Jeez.
Hey, I've been wanting to ask you, I'm sure...
You want to ask me a question?
I want to ask you a question. I'm sure that you saw earlier this month the